soldiers thought they had finally found him. Tracks in the sand, fresh, a small fire, still warm, and just beyond it, silence. But this wasn't just any man they were hunting. This was Geronimo, a warrior who had spent years doing what entire armies couldn't, disappearing. Before he became a legend, he was just a man, a husband, a father, living peacefully with his people. Until one day, everything changed. It was the 1850s. Geronimo had traveled away from camp to trade. When he returned, the world he knew was gone. His wife, his children, his mother, all killed, slaughtered by Mexican soldiers. That night, something inside him broke, and something else was born. A man who no longer feared death. A man who would spend the rest of his life at war. Geronimo didn't fight like other warriors. He didn't line up on battlefields. He didn't follow rules. He became the storm, striking without warning, disappearing into mountains, moving through deserts like a ghost. US and Mexican forces sent hundreds of soldiers after him, then thousands. Still, they couldn't catch him. They said he had supernatural power, that bullets couldn't touch him, that he could see the future. But the truth was simpler. He understood the land, every rock, every shadow, every path no one else could see, and he used it against them. Years passed, battle after battle, escape after escape. Geronimo became more than a man. He became a symbol to his people, hope to his enemies, fear. There were times he surrendered, times he tried to live peacefully again. But each time, something would happen. Broken promises, stolen land, betrayal, and each time he returned to war. The final hunt came years later. The US Army had had enough. They sent thousands of troops, scouts, spies, relentless pressure. Geronimo was no longer young. His body was tired. His people were exhausted, running, hiding, surviving for months. They chased him across the deserts and mountains until finally, there was nowhere left to go. No food, no escape, no way out. Geronimo stood there, looking at the men who had hunted him for years, and for the first time, he made a choice, not to fight, but to surrender. Not because he was weak, but because his people needed to survive. They took him away, far from his land, far from everything he knew. The warrior who once moved like the wind was now a prisoner. Years later, people came from everywhere just to see him. The legend, the man who fought entire armies, the man who refused to break. But here's the part most people don't understand. Geronimo didn't lose, because even though they captured his body, they never captured his spirit. He never became what they wanted him to be. He remained who he was, a warrior, a survivor, a man who stood against everything and refused to disappear. And maybe that's why his name still lives today. Not because he won every battle, but because he never stopped fighting. Even when the world was against him, even when everything was taken from him, he stood. And sometimes, that's what makes a man unforgettable.